There's a moment that changes everything. It's the day you finally understand most of what people do or say has very little to do with you. Their moods, their silence, their criticism, their withdrawal, even their love, it's all shaped by their own life experiences, wounds, fears, and conditioning. The second you grasp this, you stop reacting, you stop taking things personally, and you start living with so much more peace. Today, I'm going to share how this mindset will transform your life and how to begin living this exact way. Hi, I'm Marina Papa, founder of the AP Method and transformational coach, and I help people rebuild their emotional independence, stop overfunctioning, and find deep inner peace by standing fully in their own energy. This is one of the most liberating mindset shifts I teach my clients and that I have learned myself. When we stop believing that everything is about us, our entire life opens up. So why do we think it's all about us? Well, as children, we believe the world revolves around us. Developmental psychologist Jean Piaget called this egocentrism. It's not selfishness, it is survival. We think, Mommy's upset, I must have done something bad. Dad left, I must not have been lovable. And we carry this unconscious belief into adulthood. Someone didn't reply, so I must have said something wrong. Someone cancels plans, well, they must not value me. Someone criticizes, I'm a failure. Now, this creates an exhausting emotional roller coaster. We're constantly reacting, analyzing, overthinking, and personalizing. And we live at the mercy of other people's moods. But as Dr. Stephen Covey said, we are each living in our own movie. You are the main character of yours, I am the main character in mine, and they are the main character of theirs. You cannot control their script or my script. And that's where everything starts to change. The science of projection goes a little bit like this. Psychologist Carl Jung describes it as people don't just see you, they see their vision of you filtered through their fears, wounds, and past experiences. And an insecure person may attack you to defend their own fragile ego. An emotionally unavailable person may withdraw from closeness, not because of anything you've done, but because connection feels unsafe to them. And a jealous person may criticize your success because maybe it reflects back their own lack. As Dr. Dan Siegel explains, every human processes life through their own neural lens. Their own memories, their own pain, their own beliefs, and emotional patterns. And this is also what Eckhart Tolle describes in The Power of Now. You become free when you realize you are literally the observer of other people's behavior, not the victim of it. So you're not the puppet. You do not have to dance every time someone pulls an emotional string. Now, let's talk about the chimp paradox and ego awareness. Professor Steve Peters, author of the chimp paradox, he beautifully explains that we each have an inner chimp, an emotional brain that reacts quickly, defensively, and often irrationally. Your chimp might say, why didn't they text me back? They looked annoyed. I must have annoyed them. But your rational mind, the human, can step in at any moment and say, well, maybe they're busy. Maybe it's nothing to do with me. I'm not going to lose my peace over a guess. Now, learning to manage your chimp is what gives you emotional mastery. And you go from absorbing everything to observing everything. Well, that was a mouthful. But really, we become the observer of everything. So this is how your life will literally transform when you start to embody this mindset. I'm going to show you what this can do for you. So you will notice things like you stop obsessing over other people's moods. You stop trying to fix or solve people's problems just to feel safe. You stop over-explaining yourself to avoid being misunderstood. And you also stop over-apologizing for simply existing. You stop people-pleasing to avoid conflict. And your inner dialogue becomes, well, that's their movie. I'm passing through that scene. And you feel emotionally calmer, confident in your choices, a lot less reactive, and more grounded in your own truth. And this is also what A Course in Miracles teaches beautifully. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Now, this is a big, kind of heavy reading book, but ultimately you'll realize you were never responsible for controlling, fixing, or managing anyone's emotions. You were only ever responsible for showing up in your own truth. And this mindset will literally transform your life. So how do we cultivate this mindset? Now, this is how I coach my clients, and this is how I've done it myself. Pause before reacting. Now, we're going to stop and say, this is probably not about me, so I can choose not to absorb it. This switches you from emotional reaction, amygdala, to rational calm, which is your prefrontal cortex. Number 2, we're going to use the movie exercise. So visualize everybody as an actor in their own movie. You're not the director. You are not responsible for their script. And this simple kind of visual will create a little bit of instant detachment. Number 3, we're going to apply the 90-10 rule. So 90% of someone's reaction, it's their own triggers, it's their own past and story, and 10% is the possible feedback for us to reflect on and take ownership of. Number 4, we're going to strengthen our own dialogue. We're going to create a mantra, something like, use your own words, but I am safe even when people misunderstand me, or I don't owe anyone emotional caretaking, or what they think of me is none of my business. Now, this builds nervous system resilience over time. Number 5, read books that change your life. Now, I've listed some of mine, but literally there's so many books out there, and I'm going to pop some examples in the description because there's so many that have transformed my life. But literally understanding how our brain does weird things based on what we already collected over our life, and how other people's does the same. It's probably the biggest shift that I have ever come across, and these sort of books will change your life. Number 6, I would also recommend to seek coaching or therapy if needed. Now, this work takes time, and if you still spiral into overthinking or emotional caretaking, working with a coach or a therapist will literally fast track your progress. This is exactly what I do with my private clients, and I help them regulate their emotional reactions, create healthy detachment, and stand confidently in their own energy. And this is the work that I've done and I continue to do with myself all the time. So here is the truth I want to leave with you. Most of what people do has nothing to do with you. They're acting out of their own story, their own patterns, their own wounds, their own issues. Now, you can love them, you can hold compassion for them, but you do not have to absorb them. You do not have to lose yourself in this whole chaos, in their chaos. When you embody this, you become free and you stay grounded and you stay at peace. And trust me, the calm will change your entire life. Please know this is deep work. It's okay if you don't get it perfect straight away, and you won't. So if you do want to work with myself, then reach out. My email is in the description, and we can arrange one-on-one sessions. I'm also running a workshop in Birmingham in September, so it's not tomorrow, but in the meantime, reach out if you want to work with me more. Read those books, and just don't stop working on yourself, because it's not an overnight thing. And you deserve to be free. You deserve to stop carrying what was never yours and to live a life that's, your most authentic. You deserve to thrive in your own, whatever you're trying to do. And a lot of the time, these things will hold us back and we don't even really know it. So I hope you've got some value out of this video. If you did, please don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Do share this with a friend or anybody you think might also benefit from this. And I will see you in my next one. Bye-bye, everyone.